for Liverpool. Gerrard. Oh, it's a wonderful run!
Oh, what a screaming goal by Stiven Gerrard. His first ever goal for Liverpool.
Talk about taking the bull by the horns. 19 years of
That was a
age.
splendid solo goal. It's Liverpool 3, Sheffield Wednesday 1, and what about that from Stiven Gerrard?
When he came into the team, he was so unbelievably raw and wholehearted. You could see that he was emotionally driven. Even though he was very young, we thought, my God, he could be the whole package. He could do anything.
Gerrard! It flew in for Liverpool from Stiven Gerrard. This is absolute perfection.
Here's Gerrard on the ball again. Oh, he's tried from distance. What a goal by Stiven Gerrard. And the layoff by Murphy into the path of Stiven Gerrard. What a wonderful goal that is.
Oh, but the nastiness here. Dennis Wise involved with Gerrard.
I would be so engrossed with what he was doing. He tends to slip away from what other players are doing. Changes your whole outlook on it. But I couldn't believe it, couldn't wrap my head around it, you know. Some of the things that he's done.
There's something inside you when you're coming through that's got such belief in yourself that you just think you're almost indestructible and you're going to play and be the best. We used to look up to all these players and think, wow. And then all of a sudden me and Stevie were doing it.
Barber trying to reach it. Owen! Liverpool are back in business thanks to Michael Owen.
To Owen. Gerrard is in space ahead of him. A real chance for Stiven Gerrard. 2-0 Liverpool.
To make so many people happy with what you can do, it's unbelievable. You almost don't know what you've done until you get home and you see it on the TV. I was starting to get stronger. I was starting to become a man.
The first place, the winner.
Then getting the Young Player of the Year, it just almost seemed to be going up and up and up.
2001 is Stiven Gerrard.
It wasn't about what he was getting that night, it was about the door it was opening to the next stage. His plan was, let's take on the world, you know, let's get to the very, very top.
Can't say I'm going abroad here, can I?
Drag Liverpool Football Club with him to success.
It was an ambition to play for Liverpool. Now that it's here, I appreciate it very much, and hopefully I can win a lot of trophies with them and stay there as long as possible.
The crowd love a local lad who gives everything for that shirt. He is their blood in many ways. Stiven was a shining example of what they wanted to see week in, week out. Is somebody who's going to run through a brick wall for your football club.
Cross. Headed away by Stubbs. It's come back to Stiven Gerrard. Brilliant goal!
But with Liverpool supporters, they would never rest until Liverpool won the Premier League. And that's it. They're continually hungry for Liverpool to do well.
He bought Chelsea for £1 in 1982. Now Ken Bates has sold his majority stake for 30 million to Russian billionaire Roman Abramovich.
Chelsea has never been able to rival the financial muscle of rivals like Manchester United. Now, though, that could all change.
There's always been talk of owners coming in and they're going to spend a few quid and they're going to do this and they're going to do that. And then they rarely do it.
We are at Anfield, where Chelsea have won only once in the league in almost 70 years. It's an instant test of the new power behind them.
Yeah, it was definitely. It was for real.
It was unimaginable that someone could come in with huge money, buy a club and say, we're going to be bigger than you are. It was Chelsea, for God's sake. Now, Chelsea had not won a league title since the mid-1950s. And suddenly they were transformed. It's amazing how quickly history can be forgotten in a sport like football.
I'm delighted this morning to formally announce Jose Mourinho as the new manager and coach of Chelsea with immediate effect.
Look, football change, society change, world change, and I think football clubs, they want success in relation to their potential. But more important is to find players who think as I think. We should not be afraid to say we want to win.
When Chelsea come in and start buying players for 30 million in every position, it's a game changer for someone like me who's striving to win the league. And that's tough to take when you've got that burning ambition and that desire inside.
Seems absolutely incredible now that their last championship win was 12 years ago. That's a whole generation of fans here growing up, not knowing what it's like to have Liverpool as league champion.
My natural instinct is to always defend the club, but there was a part inside me that knew that we weren't good enough. So how am I going to win these leagues and Champions Leagues? Used to kill me. It was even more hurtful when you were in the company of them players. You'd have conversations and they're saying, are Liverpool going to compete over the next 3-4 years? You start questioning your own ambition. But it can be a complex word, ambition, when you're a footballer.
Chelsea were buying up talent. Jose Mourinho, this exciting young coach, was coming in and was desperate to sign him. I'm not a Liverpool fan, do you know? I'm not a Liverpool fan. I'm the business of Stiven Gerrard's football career. So what's the right thing for the business of Stiven Gerrard? For trophies, for medals, for achievement.
A huge sigh of relief on Merseyside as the arrival of new coach Rafael Benitez appears to have convinced Gerrard that Liverpool can once again challenge for the game's top honours. Gerrard's decision to stay is sure to upset Chelsea, who were desperate to sign him for a reported £36 million. Michael Owen said it would be a catastrophe if Gerrard left Anfield. That's been avoided. The big question now is whether Owen will also stay at Liverpool.
I was in the room at Michael when he got the call. And my first words to him, I wouldn't go. I was always a big picture person, thinking, how will people see you at the end? I can get it. If I was in your position, you may want to play with the greatest players in the world, but it'll create a divide that may not be able to be ever healed. Is it worth it for that?
I'd like to say a special thank you to Senor President for giving me the opportunity to play for the best team in the world. Thank you very much. Muchas gracias.
It's the lure of going and winning, being what you've always wanted to be growing up. I thought to myself, if I say no, I'll probably think, what would that have been like for the rest of my life? I've just got to try it.
was a difficult time emotionally. We were dealing with these people when they were very young. Michael was an absolute superstar. And at that point, what's he going to win with Liverpool? It's about success at the end of the day. Even though you think they're going to play for Liverpool forever, you say, well, why should we think that? They don't owe Liverpool anything, really.
I just assumed we were going all the way to the top together. It was always me and him. Shit, this is going to affect me, it's going to affect us. But when that whistle goes, you got to park them feelings.
We've lost a player who Stiven on the pitch had his best relationship with. Now, he was by far the best player. If Liverpool aren't playing well, it's down to Stevie to fix it.
Tokic makes room to shoot. Oh, what a goal that is!
Stiven Gerrard, we know how powerful and how important he is to this Liverpool team, but they cannot rely totally on him, because that's how it started to look.
We didn't have a great team. And Benitez felt distance. He didn't have that kind of emotional pull.
Was it a mistake not to field more senior players in there tonight?
I don't think so.
You happy with them?
With the players? Sure. They try.
And so we had in Stiven this weird combination of utter belief and trust and hope on the one hand, but a desperation that we'd win something on the other, so that he wouldn't be seduced away.
Lee in Spain says that was the most embarrassing night as a Liverpool fan I've had in 30 years of supporting them.
We've got no chance to win the league. We're not going to win the Champions League. Well, I think that was one of the worst displays of a Liverpool team I've ever seen.
It's difficult to remember another one like it, Andrew.
That season, their emotion was a roller coaster, day to day, week to week, and everything started to centre around him.
Liverpool captain Stiven Gerrard is calling on the fans as the Reds seek the win they need to ensure Champions League progress.
It's 20 years since Liverpool last scaled the heights of Europe's premier club competition, but tonight they must win to ensure their fans can carry on dreaming of glory in May. Olympiacos are the visitors to Anfield.
Rivaldo getting his shirt pulled by Xabi Alonso. Still Rivaldo, and then Sami Hyypiä.
19 minutes to half-time. 0-0 at Anfield. Chance for Olympiacos now, though. There it goes, played in low, and Kirkland was nowhere, it was hit low and in.
Liverpool 0, Olympiacos 1.
When it wasn't going well, I think that's when he felt the responsibility more. And I think we probably all think the same with the 10 players. Let Stevie have it. Let him take a penalty. Or pass it to Stevie, he'll shoot. And then that was times by 40,000 in the ground. Stevie, it's down to you.
Olympiacos are going through at the moment, unless Liverpool score another goal.
Miller, lovely cushion header.
Stiven Gerrard!
When we first met him, he was just a young lad playing football, living his dream. Didn't think he realised what was ahead of him. He obviously grew up a lot because of the responsibility he had, but we were both still really young at that time. On the pitch, he always looked aggressive. I'm like, oh God. But at home, he's just different. He wasn't scared of showing his emotions. He probably looked forward to just coming home and just being himself.